It's slightly eerie in the evening when no one is here because you can hear your heartbeat.
Moving walls. I'm a big fan of moving walls. So one thing I noticed before I have Jed kind of talk about this, the things that jump out at me is that the actual reveal on these pieces of glass, now this is super heavy, but this is all gonna be motorized, so push of a button eventually. You're gonna have drywall that's gonna butt all the way right up into it.
Correct.
And actually look down here, the frame on this, a typical moving wall, like a nano wall, La Cantina, you have a 2-inch, 2.5-inch, 3-inch.
Yep, 2.5 strong.
Frame on the bottom, sides, top, all the way around. This is like 1/2 inch?
1/2 inch, exactly. Good eye. 1/2 inch, and there'll be a 1/2 inch on the exterior too, because the tracks get filled in.
That's crazy. So, all right, so it's basically all glass, but all of this opens and it pockets all the way to the sides, right?
Yeah, so this is a 13, so that panel that you're moving right there, let's see how strong you are. That's 900 pounds. And it actually moves quite smoothly for 900 pounds.
Yeah.
However, it's motorized, so we worked with Summit Motors.
13 feet tall.
13 feet tall. So these 4 panels all slide back
and they
into
disappear
a cavity,
inside the wall.
Which
they pocket, right?
Another kind of neat feature. So what's cool is rather than just drywall and painting these black, our cavities, when this door slides back, interior of the pocket is all powder coated steel as well. So at any time, while the door is moving, if somebody just glances in there, you don't just see painted drywall or painted plywood, which is—
God forbid.
Yeah, I know. Like for that moment, when you look in there, it looks the same color, finished just like the door itself.
The size, the sheer size of this glass, look at me, I'm
10 by 13.
all of like 5 foot nothing, right? This does not flex. This is, I can see on the other side. I wish somebody would go out there and put the finger on the other side. It's literally this thick. I mean, that's insane.
And that, another thing that's neat about that is it is actually heat strengthened laminated glass. We wanted to minimize any tempering roller marks. Think of it like a diamond, right? You get inclusions, you get less inclusions, diamonds go up in price, right? With glass, so this is not only heat strengthened laminated, 10 mil over 10 mil, so the glass panels are 10 millimeters each. However, it's also what most people would call starfire glass, low iron. So the optical clarity is as perfect as you can get. Additionally, the green hue that you see when you start to get really big fenestrations, window openings and large pieces of glass, you get a little green hue to it. You see it definitely in that sunrise, sunset, high solar exposure. This will have a very uniform, reflective color to it, but it'll be very, very unique. When you're boating by the residence from the lake on sunrise,
it's gonna look different than the rest of the glass.
It will look differently than the rest of the glass in the lake.
Yeah, it's cool.
There was a tremendous amount of emphasis because of the tall ceilings, these big open spaces, the amount of glass that's in the residence for sound. So we contracted with A3 Acoustics, Mohammed, and we came up with STC ratings, which is a sound transmissioncy factor that commercial buildings use, libraries use, recording studios use. So we established a baseline STC rating of 45 or greater for all wall assemblies. When we move into sleeping spaces, we go to an STC rating of 65 or greater. So that's when we start to do double 5/8 drywall. We also use a rock wool sound absorbing insulation. We'll stagger stud. And here you'll see the resistant channel that's actually added to the walls so that when the drywall, is screwed, it never has a screw to wood connection. They can telegraph that sound into another space.
Dead sound.
Dead sound, and the door's wide open. Yeah. There's not even drywall in here. It's slightly eerie in the evening when no one is here because you can hear your heartbeat. So this is a sacred place in the residence. So this is the puja room. This is our prayer room. So not only did we create an STC 65 or greater, plus the fact that we essentially have soundproof glass, we also created doors that actually have auto bottoms, so sweeps that drop down to help. Typically you see that like a theater room. But this room is the puja room, but this gives you a great example of the level of detail behind the finished product. So not only for all the wall assemblies, have a tremendous amount of thought process behind it. So this is a pocket door. And you can see down here, look at how tight the reveal is between the base. I mean, what would you call that, a 16th? But here's what gets really cool. This door right here is roughly 275, 290 pounds. The hardware that we thought out for this project and specified, it's got some pretty good velocity going. Silent, soft, the casing, I'll show you one that's already done. And the split jamb will be perfectly flush. This will be a fully insulated pocket as well. So when this is shut, you can hear that you can have an absence of sound with the guys working downstairs.
You couldn't hear anything.
It's wild.
It's crazy.
So you'll be able to float in the tub and have an experience.
To go back in time, seeing the constellation that you would if you were
there on that day.
There on that day. That's wild.
Totally wild.